just have to redo it.
Call to order the Finance Committee meeting for July the 2nd, 2018. Item number 1, please.
Consider approval of Finance Committee minutes of June 18, 2018.
After reviewing of the minutes, are there any corrections or additions to the minutes?
Move for approval.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Cale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Coburn.
Yes.
Item number 1 passed. Item number 2, please.
Consider approval of all claims for all city departments June 14, 2018 through June 27, 2018.
Do we have a report from the Purchasing Committee?
Yes, the Purchasing Committee did meet this afternoon. I do appreciate the staff answering all our questions this evening. I do want to welcome our new member, Jamie, to Finance Committee this evening, and I would recommend approval of the claims.
Second.
I have a motion and a second that we approve the claims. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Cale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Coburn.
Yes.
Item number 2 passed. Item number 3, please.
Consider approval of a 3-year agreement with Kansas City Aerosports to supply ballooning activities for the proposed Oklahoma Festival of Ballooning to be held at Hatbox Field, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Miller?
Yes, Mr. Wilkerson may join us here in a moment, but I will talk to you about it. As you know, we approved a balloon festival in this year's budget, and the idea being that we may be able to use our tourism dollars in this way to grow an event. And so this contract is with a company that has experience in that field, and they will help us. They'll provide some turnkey services in hosting the event. We do recommend approval. It is a 3-year contract, but Mr. Tucker has worked with us to make sure that it's subject to our appropriations as a city, so it's not binding on us beyond the first year if we choose not to move forward with future.
In other words, there's a funding out clause.
Thank you. So we do recommend approval.
I happen to be privileged to sit on the Park Department Committee, and I've gotten to kind of see what this project entails. And our Hatbox facility it makes it perfect. One of the best venues in the state for an event like this. So I'm excited about the opportunity to have it, and I think it'll be fabulously successful. I think
If that's a motion, I second it.
Thank you.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
The only thing I would say is we have got to promote it. You know, I was at Soul Fest, and you know, I was really disappointed with the turnout that was there. I mean, it was phenomenal, both Friday and Saturday night. The entertainment that we had in our community was just amazing. Yet the turnout was low, and I thought, you know, we hear of why people don't come to Muskogee and why people don't show up, and I decided I'm going to throw a survey out there on Facebook and return it back to my website, and I got 120 responses, and I can pretty well sum it up. It says promotion, 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 promotion. We don't hear about it until after it's over in Muskogee. And, you know, there were a number of other responses, and I'll share that with anybody about what responses. But, you know, one thing that was very insightful to me from those responses, you know, with my interaction with Bridges Out of Poverty, we talk about people need to plan in their budget. And we do have a very low, you know, social economic challenge here in our community. But if people are going to go to these events where they have to spend money, they have to plan ahead of time. And one of our ways is we got to promote this and let them know of events that's upcoming a month ahead of time where they can plan this in their budget. So I think promotion is going to be the key to this, way ahead of time. And with this coming up very quickly, we need to make sure and promote this on Facebook. We need to make sure that the chamber's involved. Everything, every aspect of this needs to be promotion, 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 because that's what I heard through that survey, and that's what I heard through Facebook. And it's something that I don't think we do very well in this community, and I think it's something that if we want this to be, because I agree 100% with Mr. Cale, I don't know that you could find a better venue than what we have at Hatbox. But I think the same was true for Soul Fest and for a number of the events that we've done at Hatbox, but yet we've not invested in promotion. And if we want this to be successful, we got to invest in promotion.
My little question is not on the promotion, but how much? How much are we going to spend on this thing?
It was in the, pardon me, it was in the budget as $80,000 for
So about a
from
year,
our tourism.
80,000 every year?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. We're going to see how it works. And our idea is that hopefully, I mean, some of these festivals are make money or are fundraisers. So we are seeking sponsorships. There will be some charges, but it will be, there'll be some things that are available for free, but some things we charge for. So the idea is that we want to see how this does financially. And my goal is that next year it doesn't cost as much. It makes money back, and so if we decide we want to do it next year, which would again be our option, that it helps fund itself next year. So it would cost less in the tourism budget than $80,000 next year.
So this company is going to do the recruiting of the balloons and stuff to be here?
Yes.
And so we're not guaranteed any balloons will show up, but they're going to go out and try to recruit them here.
They're a company that does this, so we've got, and they have a good track record, and so we're not. They were they're ready to hit the ground running, and they've already started promoting within the ballooning community about the dates because it's coming up soon. It's in August, and so we're trying to get this done as soon as we can and get them up and running so we can get all the logistics nailed down.
Well, I'm all excited about it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here asking all these questions because I'm not in favor of it. I'm just thinking if we what we talked about was having the balloons here and trying to have something else like a little carnival with it and a couple other events to group all that together so it could be an all-day or an all-weekend event for everybody. I'm just trying to figure out how much money we're going to put into this and see where we're at on it. That's all I'm asking
Yeah,
for.
no, it has already been approved in the budget by the council for $80,000.
Okay.
I have a technical question to ask. I notice in this, they're going to supply the fencing. I've been to several balloon events. One of which you had whatever you'd call it, a fence line, and everybody was behind the fence line. And all you did was look across the fence at the balloons. I've been to several others, 3 specifically, and everybody just mingled out among the balloons and the pilots and the crews and I hope that we're talking to somebody that understands that the line needs to go away, the fence line.
So
everybody needs to be out in the middle of the field having a grand time.
That's our plan, is to have a mingle amongst the balloons kind of balloon festival.
Okay.
The fencing is there. If it's windy, you can't have that. I mean, if the winds are too high, if there's some circumstances in which you have to say, sorry, we can't do everything we had planned. So you do have to have that separation. So this fencing allows us to do both, depending on the circumstance regarding the weather.
Find out how much a ride is and on one of those windy days because I want Patrick Kell to go. Oh, I'm sorry, Pat. You're over there.
I'm ready.
Did I get a motion?
You have a
All right.
motion and a second.
Do we have any other discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, may I be recognized?
Yes, sir.
It's been probably a couple of weeks ago, I was watching television, and I barely caught it. Do y'all remember who just had the balloon festival? Did y'all see that on TV? It was some. I don't know
There
if
was
it
one in
Tulsa.
Tulsa, just
There's one in-
who in Tulsa.
There was one in Tulsa about weekend before last.
I wonder how that turnout was.
It was busy, I can tell you from experience.
And I was,
Went and stayed 3.5 hours.
you don't think that's going to affect Muskogee by them having one so close? I mean,
Well, they do 2 in Tulsa.
I'm just curious.
No, I don't
That's a
personally think it'll have an impact on the number of people that'll come.
So that's part of what we're going to learn here this first year. I mean, the decision that we've got at this point is we've got a budget for it. And we've said we're going to do it. Are we going to have this contractor come in and help us put it on, or and that's really our our agenda item today. We'll find out. I'm sure we're going to learn some lessons this first year, and one of those lessons, and hopefully the lessons will be it'll be a success, and we'll make a better one the second year.
Because I know we talked about, the charging for the balloon rides and stuff, and also we brought up in the meeting that, the children parents to bring their children that can't afford it, for us to have some kind of means for them to afford it. Because I'd hate for my, children to come and other kids are riding these balloons and, and other kids, are not. Because, Muskogee is, poverty. And so, you said we were going to cover that.
Well, we will work towards that. And keep in mind, the way this was budgeted was out of our tourism funds. So our goal for this event is certainly for people in the community to enjoy it, but also to bring people in from outside of the community. So, it is very important to remember these are tourism funds that we're using for this. We couldn't use it for several other purposes, and that's why we chose to use it for the balloon festival.
Well, I still think we need to get some sponsors or something. Because I think it's very...
We've got sponsorship packages, and we are going out into the community to try and help them get that done.
Just trying to make sure, Mr. Miller, our community, no one in our community is left behind.
And one of the things that we can help do is help sell the sponsorships as council.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got 9 people out selling sponsorships rather than just 1 or 2.
I'll distribute in a report later this week our sponsorship package.
Okay. Turn the floor back over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Ready for roll call? Ready.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston,
Yes.
Patrick Kale,
Yes.
Marlon Coleman,
Yes.
Wayne Johnson,
Yes.
Ivory Van,
Yes.
Derek Reed,
Yes.
Dan Hall,
Yes.
Jamie Stout,
Yes.
Mayor Coburn.
Enthusiastically, yes.
All right, with the item being passed, that is the final item for our Finance Committee meeting for today.
We'll now call to order the Public Works Committee. Item number 1.
Consider approval of Public Works Committee minutes of June 18, 2018.
Any questions on Public Works Committee?
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Coburn.
Yes.
Item passes. Item number 2.
Consider approval of ordinance number 4050A, accepting the terms and conditions of amendment number 5 to the Muskogee War Memorial Park Authority Trust Instrument, or take other necessary action.
Counselor Stout.
Okay. This was kind of already in process before I took over as chairman for the War Memorial Park. Matt's done a lot of work on amending the trust to give the trust actually a say for every, I think it's third appointment for someone to sit on the trust. So I'm going to turn it over to Matt and let him tell us some more about it.
Thank you, Councilmember. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, what we've done is taken to create the 5th amendment to the trust. We've amended it 4 other times. This amendment is simply reallocating some of the appointments to the trust. Currently, the City Council has 9 appointments to the trust. The proposal from the Batfish Board is to allocate 3 of those appointments to the board itself. There is currently a rotational order, which allows council members to maintain an equal amount of appointments through the boards as the rotation continues. And so we had to find an effective way to implement, if council chose to move forward with allocating 3 of the appointments to the trust, a way to implement them into the council rotation. So the proposal before you today, if approved, would, beginning with the next appointment, would be a board appointment. So they would present someone to council for approval. And then the council would take the next 2, then the third would be the next appointment for the board, and that would begin the cycle where they would be in the normal council rotation without changing any current policies or procedures. We also left a caveat in there that in the future, if council would like to choose to change the way appointments are made, which we've done in the past, that will be possible within the trust without any inconvenience or major changes. They still have to have their appointments approved through the council because you maintain that control, but they will ultimately be responsible, which I know for many council members it's hard to find members of boards, and so this would at least take some of the burden off. But this is a proposal at the request of the board through Councilmember Stout, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
What was their rationale?
I'd have to turn that over.
I call Brent's out in the audience because that was, like I said, this was all had already started being in process before I came in as chairman.
Hello, City Council. Our rationale is basically that we have a board that's becoming younger, and we want to keep the momentum going. When I first took over the establishment, the board, and I'm not correlating age with an activity, is just a stagnant board, and I know it's really hard. I'm on the Parks and Rec with you as well, and I know it's hard to find people that are eager, not just show up and read the packet the moment you're there, but actually show up and want to be a part of the community. So we have out-of-town spots that we like to appoint as well, that we figured this would be the best way for us to have some input and maybe find people that want to grow with our mission as well.
On this board, excuse me, may I be recognized, Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman. On this board, you said you have out-of-town spots. So in Muskogee, people don't have to live here in Muskogee to be on this board, correct?
This is the
We have
one
spots.
trust that is a little bit different than the other committees.
We're
So you
special.
can live out of town.
Isn't it some do, some don't?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there's, I think
Three certain
I think we have 3 appointments that's
Yes.
for out of towners, which is currently full.
And sometimes it's easier for us to find people that are out of town than you guys, because you guys are on the streets here with the community, and that's great. But sometimes for us, we have avid volunteers that want to make that way onto the board, or people that we know that could benefit us from outside of the community. Whereas, we can get it in with one of the Indian tribes or one of the major dealerships down in Tulsa, something like that.
I'm just trying to make sure that this board still stays diverse, because like I say, we have one board here in Muskogee that I personally work with, and if it wasn't for me having an appointment, it wouldn't be no minorities on this board.
Well, to be honest with you, that's a very important thing to me as well. When I first joined, it wasn't unique at all, the board membership makeup. So that's something that we've, between women, races, we are diverse, and that's something that's very important to me. I feel like you don't get an adequate board that's going to represent your community and your patronage unless you have that.
I agree.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Appreciate this.
Thank you.
If I could clarify one thing, the modification to the trust does not change the way internal and external appointments are made. They're still, all the same things are said as far as the number of outside appointments. The only thing changing is who makes those recommendations for appointments.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion?
Move the approval.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Any other questions on that item? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Coburn.
Yes.
Item passes. Item number 3.
Consider approval of an amended plat of York First Edition consisting of 2 lots on 2.22 acres located at 100 North York Street, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Garvin.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, the applicant, Joe and Rosemary Seaboat, is requesting approval of the amended plat of York First Edition consisting of 2 lots on 2.22 acres. The property is located at 100 North York Street. If you'll remember, a few weeks ago, this property was rezoned by Joe and Rosemary Seaboat, so the property could be sold in a restaurant located on the property. Well, during the process, they found out that when the property was platted back in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a mistake in the legal description. The surveyor who prepared the plat has passed away, so the only way they could correct the issue is to do an amended plat. That's what they're doing, to correct the legal description. The only other addition to the plat was there was some easements that was filed under a separate instrument. We asked that they put those easements on the plat also, so it's all in one location for future reference. Other than that, there's been no changes to the plat. It's been recommended for approval by staff and planning commission. Be glad to answer any questions.
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions from Mr. Garvin or staff? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Coburn.
Yes.
We have no other agenda items, but I have one public comment. Mr. Ivory Van.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. I could say this the other day.
You would give your name and
I'm
address.
sorry. Ivory Van, 4338 Columbus Street, Muskogee, Oklahoma 74401.
Thank you, Councilor Van.
Yes, I didn't get to say this, Chief, the other day, but I really appreciate all your time and your service that you spent with the city of Muskogee. And it was the short time that I've spent with you in the 4 years and working on my second term. It's been a pleasure working with you, and I have enjoyed working with you. And you're a very, very outstanding man. As you can see, when people showed up at your reception at the Civic Center, that proved to me that you were a definitely outstanding man. And also would like to congratulate Chief Cohee. What's it? Teehee. I'm sorry, Teehee, for the position, because the people who worked on that, like Mr. Miller and other people and the human resources, and other people on the committee, it's a job trying to pick somebody, and it's hard, because when we chose Tammy over here, I was on that committee, and it's hard, and I want to commend y'all for the hard work that every member on that committee done, and you also, Mr. Miller. Because, like I say, I think he'll make a good police chief. I don't know him well, but I want to get to know him. I know most of the rest of them over there, but I want to get to know him too. So I just like to say congratulations to him for that position that he's about to take. I know it's going to be a hard job to replace our 49-year chief, but I believe he can do it. So again, I'd like to congratulate him for the position. I'll turn the floor back over to you.
That will conclude our Public Works agenda. Thank you very much.